I guess I should make this clear off rip. Despite everything I'm gonna say here, I actually quite enjoyed this comic. Just letting you know, because it's gonna get pretty fucking heated. Yeah, I feel like a bitch boy. I gotta have this here, but enjoy, chat. I know, Asmongold and Yuri, bro. Like, what universe would these two things ever cross over? Well, I can think of one manga where this is applicable. And yeah, it could be debated as a stretch, but I'm still going to count it anyways. It's my video. It's the manga I'll Become a Gal Who's Kind to Otaku, which is about a gal who's kind to otaku. Yeah, this one's kind of self-explanatory. I'm gonna be real with you, even as a Yuri enjoyer, it's like, is this Yuri, bro? It almost doesn't feel like it, considering there's definitely moments, but like, it barely feels like it's Yuri, bro. And the thing is, these titular two are not super important in the context of this chapter we're gonna be talking about. They kind of are, but they're not the main focus. Not particularly. But, man, the similarities between that librarian and, say, technically an Asmongold viewer, or maybe something like an Andy Pants, Synthetic Man, or Dude Deranger viewer, is definitely the way these guys talk. So, without much further ado, let's get right into the line.
Niggas acting bad until I gotta put it out. Selling Mr. Clear until I had to put them out. Better through the mind and you ain't really what you talk about. Stuff another man is pretty weird inside.
Alright, so let's start off with the first line so we can really get ourselves on the ground here. So first off is, oh, can't win a debate, so you just run away. Lamau. Trying to levy accusations but can't drum up any evidence. Just like a normie to argue with emotion instead of facts and logic. Yeah, okay, hot take. Where's the lie? I know, insane, but bear with me here. If you've been on Twitter, like I have, trust me, you see scenarios where someone will have a clearly inflammatory or dogshit take, like, not even like as in a, in your opinion, it's probably a dogshit take. As in, goodness gracious, under almost every metric, this just comes off as insanely uninformed and confidently incorrect. And then it's like, you go ahead and say, yeah, this seems kind of uninformed and incorrect. And watch as they either crash out, block you, or just close all the replies instantly. It's like, dude, what did you think was gonna happen? Bait isn't even really all that worth it if you're not having Twitter Blue. Like, dude, you're just wasting time. Like, I'm sorry. If you're gonna piss people off, at least do it while getting paid, bro. Like, come on. A lot of time, it really is a case that people get overly emotional if you call them out for having a bad take or being kind of fucking stupid. Dude, is this your first day on the internet? Or are you just, like, insanely coddled? Because the only way you would be acting like this is if you're insanely coddled. You can't be serious, bro. Like, again, that obviously could be easy rage bait, but, like, ultimately, yeah. This happens way too often, so I have to say this is le-based. Le-based. Alright, next up. I just came to realize that this world is filled with nothing but morons, and that none of these morons realize how moronic they are. And that those who understand the truth are the ones who should say screw it and drop out. Now, I don't really agree with dropping out because of this shit. That's just like narcissism at that point. But ultimately, I will say, I do agree. There's way too many morons on the internet, bro. Like, okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to say everyone's a fucking moron. There are definitely some smart people on the internet, obviously, who actually have a head on their shoulders and understand how this internet shit works, and only really doesn't take it super seriously. I wish I could be the one that doesn't take it super seriously, but realistically, that's just not how I roll. It never has been how I roll, but it is what it is, man. But here's the thing, right? Yeah, there are lots of fucking idiots. To unironically try and say, wow, this is such a dumb statement, it's like, dude, no, it's not. There are definitely morons out there, and they need to be called for what they are. Fucking morons. Like, here's the thing. I don't care if it's a case it's like, ooh, but you're like such a istphobe and so on. Bro, I don't care. If you're a moron, you're gonna get called a fucking moron. Like, either block me and move on with your fucking life, or grow a fucking spine. Like, dude, you just seem like a pathetic little bitch if you're unironically complaining at that point. It's like, dude, come on. Accountability is fucking dead. Like, nobody will take accountability for fucking anything. Like, if you make a dumb take or a mistake, it is one thing to necessarily want to double down or better explain yourself and then leave it at that. But it's like another when you start whinging and fucking moaning and saying, wow, everyone but me fucking sucks for disagreeing. It's like, dude, you're not the center of the fucking universe. And this is especially the case with rainbow flag enthusiasts, trans enthusiasts, so on so fucking forth. They think they are the center of the fucking universe all the fucking time, and that everything they say should never be criticized, that they pretty much can say whatever the fuck they want, and anyone tries to say anything to them are racist, transphobes, so on and so fucking forth, and quite simply that they're smarter than everybody in the room. Dude, just because you can put a flag in your fucking bio doesn't make you special. The whole point of the LGBT fight was solely to have equal rights. That was the whole fucking point. So I don't know why the hell people get so high off their britches because they have a fucking flag in their bio. Like, dude, you're not special. You never were special, and you will continue to not be special if you keep acting like this. The only way you would be special is if you're special ed. It is really just that simple. Your La La Land isn't real. Wake the fuck up. This is the real world. Okay, and let's look at editing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we are not doing that, bro. So we're just gonna quickly go over the last 3 points that were in here. So let's get into it, boys. The next thing they would have mentioned is pandering, which it's like, Yuri, holy LT, because here's the thing. If I say I like the color blue, obviously the people that are gonna engage with it are people who like blue, people who may not like blue, and probably people who don't care, right? That's how it goes. How can you be pandering to 500,000 people? That's not how views work. Views, it's always a case there's going to be people who agree with it and a disagree with it. That's not really pandering, it's just having an opinion, and naturally, the people who are curious about the opinion are the ones coming to the video, whether it is mostly to hate on it or to try and hopefully that they can agree with it. That's the whole point. Pandering would be when the companies, you know, put on a fucking rainbow flag and pretend they actually care about the LGBT. They fucking don't. They never have. Like, their fucking business. Why would they care about LGBT niggas? Nigga, if they could fire you at a moment's notice, they fucking would. It's really not that surprising there, guys. Like, I'm sorry, that's pandering, because it's like, they're obviously doing this to seem politically correct, and solely because it was the meta at the time. Now that it's no longer the meta, and suddenly, they don't care anymore, I wonder why that was the case. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Not falling for that. And then the next one is collectively slop and pseudo-intellectualism. I'm just gonna address this in a bit of a response, but generally speaking, there are niggas that unironically think of themselves as higher than others, and I mean, I already talked about the rainbow people. Like, I've already said my fair share of pieces, so what I'm gonna say also applies to what I'm gonna be saying it too, but there are people that unironically read Berserk and Baki, and that's fine, nothing wrong with that, but I swear, people will unironically act like they're heavily above you because they read Berserk and Baki, when it's like, dude, you're not special. I've read like so many in Yuri, like some good, some really bad, some so stupid and yet weirdly endearing. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I've read everything under the fucking sun. Does that make me special? Not particularly, maybe especially obsessed, but ultimately doesn't make me any special than others. That's how that works. But if I'm gonna keep it 100%. You're really not special for reading the quote-unquote accepted cool literature like Berserk. Dude, anyone could do that. I could do that if I wanted to, but I just don't care about Berserk. I could read Baki. I don't care about it, so I'm just not going to. And just because I don't doesn't make you more special than me. Like, at the end of the day, it's just reading fucking anime or just watching shit. Like, I don't like solo leveling, and I ultimately think it's mid as fuck, but ultimately, who cares, right? You liked it, that's cool. My problem is mostly if people unironically say, yup, it's peak cinema. Bro, how? That's just not a thing. But overall, ultimately, I don't care that deeply. Like, slop is fine in and of itself, and I agree with you offer on that. And pseudo-intellectualism, I mean, I also have to somewhat agree that is a thing. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for technically this chapter, because it's mostly just, you know, Nagi coming in and just being like, yeah, that's kind of lame, you can't be doing that, bro. And then that pretty much puts her back to normal. No one cares after that. But the thing is, we're not done. Or actually, we're almost done, but there's one more thing. Alright, past, future me, because technically the recording I made was after I was already done with the previous ones. Let's get to it! Okay, literally right as I'm editing this video. Like, okay, they released chapter 33. How convenient. Literally 10 chapters later. The same character again, but now as a hipster. It is literally the shit that I was talking about in this video. Bro, are you kidding? We might actually be twins? Okay, never mind. Any shit talk I said earlier, I'm copping the plea. My fault, chat. Okay, maybe not completely. I still kind of stand by some of that. But still, thank you. Alright, that should be all. Goodbye.